We start here. President Cyril Ramaphosa has named Dr Kgosientsho Sputla Ramokgopa as South Africa's new electricity minister. The president says the state of disaster will allow the new electricity minister to exclude certain institutions from rolling blackouts. He added that this minister will remain in office for as long as it is necessary to resolve the energy crisis. Well, to unpack this, we are joined now via Zoom by Professor Sampson Mamphweli, who's the head of Science and Innovation's Energy Secretariat at the National Energy Development Institute. And Dr, thank you so much for joining us. A good morning to you. I think your initial reaction to that announcement, our new electricity minister is Dr Kgosientsho Ramokgopa. What do you make of that?
Good morning to you and the viewers. It's a good appointment in my view. The main issue is what does he do from now onwards? And I've been following him. I saw what he wrote on Facebook, in his Facebook page, saying the immediate issue is to fix the current ESCOM fleet that's giving problem, the coal fleet. We've got about 6 power stations that have been identified as being problematic. Their energy availability factor is very low. There's quite a lot of work that has been done by the other ministers, like Minister Godan, through the Energy Crisis Committee, through the ESCOM board, and other people. The root cause analysis has been identified, has been done on the 6 power stations. What needs to happen now is for Dr. Ramokgopa to hit the ground running, because remember that we had the energy plan, the president's energy plan announced in July last year.
Right.
And ever since then, work has been done, but it's been very slow.
So, well, I mean, let's talk about what he does then. When you say hit the ground running, what's the first thing he does?
So the first thing that he needs to do is basically to finalize the energy plan, basically zooming into the 6 power stations, coming up with a detailed plan that says, because the root cause analysis has been done, what is it that we're going to do? So he needs to identify activities that need to be done. He needs to have to develop milestones, working with the various teams. He needs to develop a timeline and a budget, and identify where the money will be coming from, and follow that money and start with the work that needs to be done. The disaster has been declared, so that allows him, like what the president said, a huge room to maneuver. So he can access funding, he can access resources, human resources, and otherwise. And what we want to see now as a country, we want to hear the date, the time, to the exact second on which load shedding will end. And following that, we want to hear updates. It can be monthly or bi-weekly updates from the minister and his team, updating the nation on what is being done and who is doing what, and what is the progress that made so far. So those are the immediate things that he needs to do.
Prof, how does he work well with the other ministers that are involved in some of the energy issues that we have in the country, whether it be the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Mr. Mantashe, as well as the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan? How does he work those relationships?
So those relationships are quite easy. This minister is more like a project manager in my view. If you look at the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, his mandate is very clear. It's on the regulatory side, it's on bringing in new generation capacity through the integrated resource plan, which the minister has been doing. So the electricity minister needs to look at the impact of what the Minister of Mineral Resources is doing or planning to do going forward in terms of new generation capacity that will come through ministerial determination, and then look at adequacy, which the IRP will actually do. They're busy revising the IRP now.
Right.
Look at adequacy and say, what will be the impact of what Minister Mantashe is doing? What will be the impact of what Mr. Pravin Gordhan is doing? And then engage them from that point onwards.
Right. Professor Sampson Mamphweli, an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us.